I always feel for SEOs client side or brand side because they have the battle, they're forefront in the battle within the business, right? So let's say me as a, let's say I'm a client side SEO. I have to go through this arduous battle and I'm the only SEO within the business. I have to go through this arduous battle of trying to convince the business to invest in SEO. I finally do that, have a budget, have an agency on board, and then I go back to the business saying, actually, we kind of need more budget because we need to have things implemented via several departments, and they don't want to use any of their budget. So there is, again, this battle, and I find that in-house of client-side SEOs are constantly battling for SEO. And it's a lot of their time is spent battling either department or the business. What would you say they can do for the business or show the business from an SEO point of view why they should invest in SEO and focus on actually implementing SEO recommendations?
Sure. Great question. And that is something that we partner with our point of contacts pretty often on, because it is exactly like you say, like they finally got the budget for an agency, so now we get to work together. But when we are moving for like, hey, that structured data plan that we implemented for those products, I took a lot of resources from their engineering team, right? So I think, definitely if you have an agency, ask them for support. We are often really good. Like we have to spend a lot of time educating the client sometimes too, right? So your agency may already have resources. They may already have case studies, benchmarks, any kind of reporting that can help you prove that, or maybe not prove, but help support that, hey, this is a worthwhile endeavor. And so I would say, like, also keep in mind, this is something I love for whether you're agency side, client side, doesn't matter. If you have wins, keep documentation because you never know when you might need that again, right? So maybe you're at one company, you go to the next one and you're like, hey, we did this one thing and it worked really well. Obviously don't get yourself into any issues with intellectual property or giving away, company secrets. But certainly keeping that record, your agency probably will have access to that. So if you have one, that's great. But other than that, really looking at the data. So that's definitely been one of the things for, I guess, my tougher clients to crack. When we're able to, like, let's say, all right, I want this project, but it's going to require these kinds of resources and we need to get approved. So maybe I've got to earmark that for 6 months down the road. In the meantime, what I am getting approved for, let's go ahead and start putting the data behind, all right, here's what we found. Here's what we did. Here's how the data changed. Here's how the measurement changed. Because anytime you put data to it, you're always speaking management's language. Whether it's you're reporting to financial, whether you're trying to get something from procurement, from product, doesn't matter. Every manager, well, I guess I shouldn't say every because I'm sure there's an exception out there, but I've never seen a manager not respond well to data.
Right.
Like as long as you have that, and then also keep in mind, and I think this is just one of those soft skills as SEOs, as professionals, always bring it back to what is the business goal and use case. So, if you as a company have a goal of, I want to, penetrate this new market. I want to suddenly have more German users, right? Bring it back to that. If you can actually show how what you're asking for will help the company reach that goal, you're 10 times more likely to be successful because you're speaking their language. You're going according to what is someone else's priority. And I think that's something that can be a gap in SEO is we're so focused in the weeds because there's so much, right? And so for client-side SEOs, I'm like, I don't know how you do all that. And normally they're not just SEO, right? They're wearing so many different hats and it's like, how do you get anything done? But yeah, really just recognizing that people are people and they've got their own priorities and they've got their own things on their annual reviews that they're trying to accomplish. And if you can really bring the empathy of, hey, I know that this is something you're struggling with. Here's how I can help. And then vice versa, you know, they're also going to want to come back and help you. So it's really just about bringing that empathy to the workplace, and recognizing that we're all people, regardless of what position they're in, whether it's an engineer, a product manager, your compliance team, and lawyers. We're all just people. So, yeah.